I am back today, and this person that we're going to be talking with is somebody I've been meaning to talk to for the last couple of days, and either he's busy or I'm running around. So help me welcome Arcturus Ra. Arcturus Ra.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. So first I'm going to just show your...
Okay.
That's it right there. Okay. So tell me a little bit about yourself, if you're all right.
So,
I'm going to pan over this way too for a second. See, this is the compelling image right here for me. Yeah.
This is a scalar fractal capacitor.
Okay. He said scalar fractal capacitor because I don't have the best audio in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of Dan Winters inspired me to give it that name because he said that's what I'm doing. So basically, what I do is I make pendants. These are bioresonators.
Yes.
And they help the body to get into its own bioresonance, as in light frequency. I have a picture here that depicts when your light body, as in this is the heart and this is the body. And when these things are in sync, this is what your bubble should look like.
Okay.
So this resonator is a brass pendant that is filled with nanoparticles that help you facilitate the balance in the body on the way photons communicate in your cellular matrix. And I have technical write-ups as in scientific review that I'm influencing the connective cell tissue in your body. And when your metabolism is up, your defense against EMF is better.
Yes.
You can measure is the cell more or less stressed. So we have done tests before and after with cell phone use, and you can see on the cell phone here, I put the stickers, they're all photonically charged, that's why they reflect, like traffic signs.
Yep.
They have crushed crystals laminated in the crystal.
Very nice.
I mean, in the sticker.
Right.
So there's a foil, then there's the crystals, and then the laminate over it, and then the print.
Very nice.
I use different symbols. This is like an affirmation, and this was for kids, like a quantum being of pure consciousness and oneness. And when you have that against your body, it sends work all the time while the lights are on.
Right. Oh, hopefully. Okay, we're back on. It cut out for just a second because people are sending messages like,
Yeah. So basically, I'm about giving people the original memory back of their galactic heritage. I sometimes do readings when I have the time because sometimes there's so much work. I'm so booked. It's a long waiting line.
yes.
And I tell people what race memory galactically they're actually here to heal. To incorporate that and integrate that and fully function using this avatar to its highest potential.
So are you saying that we belong to different star systems?
Yes, all of us come from different star systems. All of us are mixed. This entire race is hybridized.
So
Not everybody is willing to recognize that, but it is so.
Right, and there's a lot of people that say they belong to one specific star system.
Yeah.
And so you would encourage them to think out of the box a little?
Yeah, get out of the box.
That we're multidimensional.
Thinking and feel into what it feels like. Where's your resonance? I know that I'm Arcturian.
Right.
I'm Arcturian in human form, 100%. And acknowledging that made me smarter and made things in my life work better. When people trying to find a faith in God, find a faith in your galactic heritage, actually, and know what your purpose is on this planet, what you are in service of, and make the best out of it, and you will be happy. Guaranteed.
So now for people not used to these kind of conversations, so you were born to a physical, regular human mother and father.
Yes.
But then you have memories of belonging to other dimensions, maybe across timelines.
Having a family in another star system. I have memory of that.
Okay.
So I know that I'm born in physical form. I wouldn't call myself walking because my stuff is from birth. I think I came in from birth with this information.
Right. Now, what would make, let's say, if you know anything about Syrians, what would be the difference, let's say, between an Arcturian and a Syrian or Palladian?
Syrians have more experience in war and defense tactics, and Arcturians are more about consciousness. Mm-hmm. They're not so much about, if at all, weapons.
Right.
People ask me like, well, if you're a commander, does your ship have weapons, or how do you battle the reptilians? Arcturians emanate consciousness and project consciousness. They don't use weapons. So let's say if they would come with a mothership into a field of war, the war would end because people would become conscious.
Right, they would increase the vibration.
That's the level of dimensionality the Arcturians exist on, they're highly, highly advanced and developed. So they would go into a war zone with consciousness, so everybody can see what they're doing without force. Just making us reflect in the grander, higher dimensional spectrum. This is what you're doing. And when you realize who you are, let's say, which right now by cosmic law it's not allowed, the Arcturians could project a conscious beam to the Gaza Strip right now, the war would end immediately. But the councils are observing us because we must make the choice to end that. So I'm a conduit representing the Arcturian Council for whoever I reach, so people will reflect and change their consciousness for themselves. But the choice is with you. That is your responsibility. So they don't come in and influence.
Now, do you know any other Arcturians in physical form that you hang out with? Do you have any friends that are like you?
I don't have Arcturian hangout buddies.
That's what I'm wondering.
But I know a lot of Arcturians. I know a lot of Syrians. I know a lot of Pleiadians. I love my Lyrans, the cat beings.
Yes.
But interesting, a lot of females are feline, interestingly. They're from the Lyran system. I had an experience with a woman the other night. Since this conference is very charged, you get sight here when this is your ability. And I saw her shapeshift into cat eyes.
Yeah.
And I could see it. And I would see a glimmer of elven ears. And I told her, you're Lyran. She's like, holy shit, how do you know? She's like, yes, I am. I love that people are also open to it.
Yes.
And I said, you're also part elven. Because I could see a shimmer of a pointy ear.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you're sitting in front of somebody, it gets trippy.
Yeah,
for a
right.
minute, you see a different thing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So,
Especially here. This place is charged. I mean,
yeah. And even though it's not like 100,000 people here, but it's energetic and it's alive.
Yeah, it is very much so. I'm surprised just how much so, actually.
It's surprisingly here it's more energy than in the casino.
Oh, it's dramatically different. Oh yeah.
He is like totally lofty and
Oh yeah.
perceptive. So I love that.
We're in our own little bubble, happy bubble here. Yeah. So can you tell me about this image right here a little bit?
This is me in the future.
But I've got to walk this way so I get your voice good. Okay.
So basically, you're here so you have it better. So basically, this is me in the future. I channeled that and also conceptualized by an artist here. Also, it looks a little bit softer, the image here, but it's kind of the same being.
Yes.
With
And there's your website too if people want to get more information.
Exactly. See,
okay, good.
Without the light, you got it?
I got it. I got it good. Yep.
So that was me as an interstellar priest in you can say Atlantis.
Okay.
Before Egypt. And I remember teaching higher divine and sacred knowledge to people that didn't have that knowledge. And also, we had the capacity to project images into walls. That's why sometimes the hieroglyphs are not understood. We, as interstellar travelers, could project knowledge into solid rock. It wasn't chiseled by hand. That's why some of the hieroglyphs you find if you go to Egypt on mirror polished rock, the symmetry is 1,000% accurate.
Yes, right.
You can't do that by hand.
No, that's right.
Do that with sticks
Even
and
now,
stones.
right.
You can't, like I say, maybe 50,000 people move to 2,000-ton block with hemp rope. It's impossible.
Right, that's right.
You don't even have a crane that is heavier than the heaviest block to even lift it.
That's right.
So all the theories fail if you don't apply.
With minimal science. I mean, you don't even have to think too far.
In Syria and Baalbek, they found 2,000-ton blocks. We don't have a crane that heavy on this earth that can lift this thing an inch. It'll break.
Right.
And they said, so two things I believe. Now they call it Cyclopean technology.
Yeah.
I believe giants help building.
Yeah.
And ETs. That's why we don't understand that. Let's say you have a 50-foot dude. He can lift a 2,000-ton rock like a Lego block and put it in place and make it nice, clean it, and walk away. But if that happened 1 million years ago, all you see, like in Baalbek, the temple in Syria, these have you seen these blocks? They're as big as this hall.
Right. Oh no.
They're like 5,000-6,000 tons heavy, perfectly cut, put in place, and
they're mined from I think a couple of miles away.
1,000 miles away.
Oh, even 1,000 miles away.
Yeah,
okay, so I mean the whole thing is.
You couldn't move that thing in 1 million years.
Right.
And we can't move it.
Right.
We have nothing on this earth to move that. So if you want to tell me a hemp rope and some logs and
Right.
and they're like, oh, well, maybe they were drifting into the Nile River. That thing is too heavy to swim.
Right.
So all that to me is like, I don't want to hear it. Technology and applications that people have thought of, and I call them the pyramidians. They're not getting off their horse or if they think they know it. Technology must be applied in order to move that. It's evident when you look at it.
Oh yeah.
And for those who don't know, go to Egypt, go to Baalbek, go to Machu Picchu, do the Brian Ferstner tour, who goes into the back of Machu Picchu.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
It's like calligraphy gateways chiseled into the solid mountaintop. Not even bricks, an entire mountaintop, and it's engraved into it. And then there's a solid door, which I think that the ancients had the capacity to walk through dimensions. They can shift the atomic state and they can walk in. We find that if you read fairy tales.
We don't even have to read fairy tales. We can read the autobiography of a yogi from Paramahansa Yogananda, written in the early 30s, and he speaks about these things.
Yeah. So when they say that the gods, because always the developed ones. One guy, there's a gateway in Mexico. I don't know, something El Diablo is called. It's a very famous rock, and it's this perfect gate cut into it with a hole. And they said that the last holy one that disappeared from the earth had a golden cup with the symbols engraved into the cup, which I think was a device of sacred technology to open that gateway.
Right, must have been.
He walked towards that gate and held it in, and he shifted it, and then the stars appeared. And he walked through it, and then it solidified. And since then, it is unchanged. You could find that rock in Mexico, you could find that hole, but it's solid matter now.
Oh, I'm going to check that out.
So that's like ancient technology that looks to us like some withered ruin, but it's technology actually.
Yeah. Where do you normally reside?
I'm in Sedona.
You are Sedona. There is a large Sedona contingency here. Did you know those other guys over there behind you from Sedona prior to this event even? Oh, okay, yeah.
Like my brother.
Yeah, right, exactly. You guys were all silly over there.
Galactic Federation representing, absolutely.
That's a lot of Sedona people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people...
Sedona backwards is spelled anodes.
Oh.
And an anode is one that contacts to the upper realms of electricity.
I never knew that. Isn't that fascinating?
All the vortexes in Sedona are anodes.
Yeah, and they are, right. Oh, wow, I never noticed that. Hey, very good. That's good information.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for taking the time for explaining some of this with us. Yeah, now we know a few things. Exactly. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.